President Trump has signed an executive order on Friday to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War. The title War Department was used more than 150 years ago. It was in effect from 1789, just after independence from Britain, to 1947, shortly after World War II. Flanked by Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth at the signing ceremony at the White House, the president said the current name that had been in place for more than 70 years was too wonky.
We won the First World War, we won the Second World War, we won everything before that and in between, and then we decided to go woke and we changed the name to Department of Defense. So we're going Department of War.
It was the latest rebranding of the U.S. military, which forms part of a wider bid by Trump to project power and potency at home and abroad in his second term, that has so far included his decision to preside over an extraordinary military parade and restore the original names of military bases that were changed after racial justice protests in 2020. Trump claimed that the new renaming sends a message of victory, adding that it's a much more appropriate name in light of where the world is right now.
I think it's a much more appropriate name, especially in light of where the world is right now. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest manufacturers of equipment by far. There's nobody to even compete. And you see that with this and so many other things. The Patriots are the best. Every element of the military, we make the best by far.
The order would authorize Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to use secondary titles such as Secretary of War in official correspondence and public communications. Department name changes are rare and require congressional approval, but Trump's fellow Republicans hold slim majorities in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Trump also signed an executive order paving the way for Washington to designate countries around the world as state sponsor of wrongful detention. This would allow them to impose punitive measures, including sanctions, on those it deems are wrongfully holding Americans. Senior administration officials said the United States would target countries currently holding wrongfully detained Americans, as well as those that engage in hostage diplomacy, including China, Iran, and Afghanistan. And for the latest on that, our correspondent Susan Teherani has sent us this report from New York.
President Trump signed an executive order directing the Pentagon to once again use the title Department of War alongside Department of Defense. He argued that defense sounds too passive, saying the U.S. military should project strength and focus on, quote, winning. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth backed the change, framing it as restoring a warrior ethos, while critics warn of high costs and distractions. Historically, the Department of War, created in 1789, was renamed after World War II. In 1947, the National Security Act recognized the War Department into the Department of Defense to unify the Army, Navy, and the new Air Force. The shift reflected the sentiments of a war-weary nation who preferred to retreat from global entanglements. Susan Teherani reporting from New York for WION World is One.